Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we went with Euless to deliver Quintus's ultimatum to the Eorzea contingent. And on the way, we learned about how Euless was forced to kill his own family because they were tempered, which is terrible. But upon arriving at Camp Broken Glass, he delivered Quintus's ultimatum that the contingent relinquish their supplies and leave. But in the meantime, Thancred and Estinian rescued Alphino and Alice, thus altering the situation, because they no longer had any hostages with which to negotiate. And so, why am I blanking on Lucia's name? Lucia! Offered an alternative that she wanted to talk to Quintus. Unfortunately, Quintus had already provided orders that if we rejected the deal, that his men would attack the camp. And so they started to do so before Aru and Senna interrupted proceedings. And we let them know that the legions they've been waiting for, the provincial legions, the 10th, and all the others, are basically gone. They've completely, well, not completely, but mostly disintegrated. They can't communicate with each other anymore. The Garlean army is essentially no more, which means that the Garlean Empire, for all intents and purposes, no longer exists. And they even actually came to the Grand Company of Eorzea, their former enemies, to seek aid, which was a move. Probably not easy. And so Quintus, while accepting that decision, decided to release his men from their service, and then ultimately decided that he didn't want to have to deal with the shame and dishonor of having to seek help from his former enemies, decided to shoot himself in the head. He essentially committed seppuku. So, death before dishonor. Which, while unfortunate, as I said before, isn't really the worst way things could have gone down. He could have ordered his men to attack us when we arrived. Or when Alphino and Alice arrived, forcing the contingent to have to fight them and possibly kill them. So, there's that, I guess. But, now we brought most of them back here to Camp Broken Glass. And we're, administering aid as best we can. So, now I need to talk to Lucia and figure out what the next objective is. We still have, this thing that needs to be dealt with. So, let's see where we're going. Alright, Lucia. I assume you're curious about how matters have progressed here in your absence. Quite well, as it happens. Now that we procured ceruleum from Tapper's Den, the recently repaired heaters can provide much-needed warmth. Furthermore, we prepared sufficient food for everyone. Those from Tertium shall find a hot meal waiting upon their arrival. How long has it been since they've had a hot meal? There's one for you. So go ahead and get some well-earned rest. I believe that we're capable of wielding a ladle or two without your assistance. On your way, might I ask that you seek out Y'shtola? She was but recently attending to the wounded, but she's meant to be taking a rest herself. See that she is. Alright, I mean, I can suggest it, but I'll see what she says. And yeah, I went ahead and took care of all the side quests. So all the side quests in Tertium and Broken Glass are all done. I also went and grabbed all the ether currents off the field. So that's all taken care of as well. We got bunch of people kicking around. Defenovian. We shall have heaters ready before long. With the problem of this dreadful cold addressed, I imagine Demeter's may change for the better. I plan to make heaters enough, not only for the camp, but for those who have chosen to remain in the station as well. Good deal. Sigurd? More people at the camp means more bodies to keep warm. The smith's been scrambling to get enough heating for everyone. We got people searching for firewood in case it comes to that. And Amonelane? There's no use in taking in all these garlands if we're going to let them freeze to death. We need heat. For goodness sake. I knew I should have brought more warming tinctures. We'll get them sorted. Alright, you're still alive. Yes, I've been taking proper breaks and imbibing sufficient water, but what of the Warrior of Light? You and the twins have an established history of reckless disregard for your own well-being. We're all fortunate none of you landed yourselves in my care. I've already quite enough to deal with, between the tempered and the first's wounded. Alas, though I commend their bodies, the toll their experiences have taken on their hearts and minds is another matter altogether. For their sakes, we mustn't waver, but nor must we rush ahead in eagerness to see the day won, and in so doing, invite disaster. Upon settling down for supper, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time. I should have sufficient time. Settle down for a restful supper. That is usually the most ominous message you can receive, so yeah. A restful supper indeed. Well, I'll say they did get some campfires going.
Is that all of them?
The last of those who agreed to join us, yes.
We left heaters and provisions for those who wish to stay behind. They won't last forever, but hopefully they'll last long enough.
For now, I think everyone's earned a rest. We'll see to those in need of medical attention, so take the others with you and get yourselves some hot soup.
Warmth. At last.
As I said, probably been a while.
Marvelous, isn't it? All thanks to the resourceful machinists of Ishgard, I might add. On their behalf, I bid you warm yourself to your heart's content.
Hold on. Your people might have scribbled a few things on a piece of parchment, but it was our Minson Smiths that put the bloody things together.
Well, be that as it may, we single-handedly got the interior heating up and running again, didn't we?
The hells you did! We were there every step of the way.
We? You barely raised a finger to help, you ale-sodden reprobate.
I did a damn sight more than you, you lily-livered bilge rat.
Take that back!
Make me.
They're like a couple
I
of
will not stoop to your level.
Pickering brothers.
Here. At ease, man. There's nothing funny in it. I'm from Alamigo, but was a conscript until recently. Used to eat this with the officers.
Apparently, it's adapted from a steppe recipe. This is my first time trying it, and I have to say, it's not half bad.
Mmm. It's a bit too flavorful for my liking.
Perhaps compared to what you're used to.
It's the little things that make life worth living, don't you think?
Finally start to let it out.
I know this is not a dream, and yet... I felt the same way at the Dragon Song War's end. Every morning I would step outside and need to be reminded that it wasn't my imagination, that my world had been forever changed. And just as I had grown accustomed to the idea, again you change my world in ways I never thought possible. Were it not for you and your fellow scions, the rifts between man and dragon and myriad tribes might never have been bridged. The Grand Company of Eorzea, the Ilsabard contingent. We owe it all to you. We've shed many tears in recent days, of pain and sorrow, triumph and joy. I much prefer the latter.
As do I.
I'm honored to fight by your side. As an Eorzean and Garlean both, I shall do all in my power to bring my peoples together.
It is a remarkable achievement. Everything that I and the Populares had hoped for, and more.
Would that it had come sooner.
Indeed. Too many are not here to see it. And yet, there is a warmth in my breast, as if they still share in this moment.
Yes, I know what you mean. On a night like tonight, the wind and cold seem to pass me by.
Blue this time.
On behalf of the Valiant Empire, thank you for inviting me today.
And we didn't give any of the refugees warding scales.
Emperor Varus?
They are being tempered. The talismans! Quickly!
Save me, brave hero!
Oh, you.
Ahem. My lord has requested your presence, and I would hate to disappoint him.
And we just get yoinked. Lovely.
The experiment was a success, but I fear our time is short.
Okay, so. As I think I've mentioned before, that I'm no longer blind. So I know what's going on here. But my first time through, coming to this point, I remember thinking, while we're going through that kind of heartwarming cutscene with the dinner, I remember thinking, you know, we've been having too many wins. It's about time we got kicked in the balls somewhere. And sure enough, here's the kick in the balls.
I shall begin the preparations.
Now, it is time for you to awaken.
Hello, Xenos.
Good morrow to you. Here, have a taste before it gets cold. Oh, but be sure to remove your helmet. Take a moment, too, to familiarize yourself with that borrowed flesh.
Borrowed flesh.
So, how does it feel? I, for one, find those first moments within a new body to be most refreshing.
One thing they did here is really hit the creepy vibe. Really hit the creepy vibe. We're at a dinner table. Xenos across from us. And here's Van Daniel in a butler outfit. Yeah.
We had a Magitek engineer by the name of Aulus to thank for this method of soul extraction and implantation. I believe the two of you met briefly in Alamigo.
Yes, we did, and I believe I killed him.
His was a rather sticky end, wasn't it? Thankfully, he was thoughtful enough to leave behind his mind-jack technology. I took the liberty of making some improvements and selecting you as my esteemed test subject.
This is such a pain in the ass.
Come now. To us Asians, it is no different from trying on new clothes. Why not make the most of it by partaking in this fine cuisine? I must say, I have gone to great lengths to reunite you with my lord. When I discovered that his friend was in this neck of the woods, I suggested inviting you over for dinner. He never deigned to respond, but I took his silence as a resounding yes. Oh my! Daddy is pleased his grumpy little boy has finally found his playmate.
Daddy?
Ah, exposition is in order. The Garlean Empire has long outlawed all forms of religion. No gods to worship, no risk of summoning. Brilliantly simple. But people being people must turn to something or someone in their hour of need. Who then? Why, His Radiance the Emperor, of course. As you have observed firsthand, Garlemald has seen better days. The legendary Solus Galvus, dead. Provinces near and far in open rebellion. Our bold new emperor assassinated. And that last one even sparked a civil war. What rotten luck. The people cried out for salvation. Their earnest pleas, one might even call them prayers, a supplication united for the Empire to reclaim her former glory.
So they saw the Empire and the Emperor themselves as objects of worship. Not entirely unheard of.
And so their will did manifest, channeled through the corpse of none other than Emperor Varus himself.
Ew.
And lo, the Savior was born, the embodiment of the Garlean spirit, their anima. It calls to its subjects, compelling them to take up arms and fight. And just as the wealth and power gravitate towards the Empire's capital, so too does ether from every corner of the globe.
Yes, we kind of figured that one out.
The towers with which you and your allies have been so preoccupied were created as an extension of Anima itself. An ingenious design. Would you not agree, my lord?
Does the pursuit of prey you have bested before excite you? Of course not. Absent the challenge, the thrill, your prize is a hollow victory. Butchery. Perhaps you think that to be the extent of my promise. I have no doubt fallen in your estimation since Alamigo. Fair enough. But do not let your disdain deprive us, of an opportunity to craft an even more majestic moment of euphoria. I have been honing my craft as I set the stage for our reunion. Wheresoever there is suffering and despair, you appear to fulfill your duty as defender of this star. The chaos and destruction that my hordes have wrought are my gifts to you alone.
All the damage that he's done.
At a loss for words? No matter. As you will learn, I have only just begun.
Oh, will you not finish your meal?
There is only one thing that can sate my hunger, and it would seem my friend has lost her appetite. I hoped this display of civility might prove an entertaining diversion, but clearly we are above such pretensions.
Clearly.
While my lifeless body was in the possession of the Ascian, I too claimed another's as my own.
Nice touch with the
It
candles.
was an enlightening experience to fight in an unfamiliar form. Flaws and failings in my technique were plain to see. Whence rises one's true strength? The flesh? The soul? Perhaps you should like to discover the answer for yourself.
And this is bad.
Or together.
Very bad. Extremely bad.
Oh dear! Whatever would happen if my lord were to greet your friends as you? I shudder to imagine what carnage he would wreak.
And Daniel, you better be careful I don't just remove that head of yours.
We'd better hurry if we want to avert the bloodbath. You can thank me later for my generosity.
I think I'll remove both your heads.
Ah, there it is. Your camp, I believe. If I were to hazard a guess, I would say that you, the other you, is making her way there as we speak.
And then mount those heads on pikes outside of my free company's house.
Alas, this you will have to walk from here. Or run, if you can manage it. My lord would be cross if I made it too easy.
Then I'll set them on fire.
Such ingratitude. I'd not squander this fighting chance. After all, you've obstacles enough to overcome. Right on cue. Tempered soldiers, with standing orders to kill those not sworn to Anima. Under normal circumstances, you would make short work of them. But on this occasion, the odds are not so heavily stacked in your favor.
Then I will piss on the ashes. Yes. We're proceeding. Alright, so we now need to play as a run-of-the-mill, nameless, faceless Garlean soldier. Oh, come on, man.
Not bad at all, given your diminished capacity. Nevertheless, 'twould perhaps be prudent to keep to the shadows, scurrying about like a rodent.
Alright. We'll inspect the fallen Imperial. That gives us a medical kit that we can use to heal ourselves. Respects. You discovered you're supposed to go chase. Magitek units are especially powerful, and your chance of defeating them in your current state is slim at best. Yeah. Alright, well, let's use what we got to heal up, and we need to stay hidden. Fortunately... Alright, nothing in that Reaper. I have a pretty decent idea of what I need to do. That contains a medical kit. Excellent. Soldiers breathed his last. He didn't have anything on him. Now, first time through here, I wasn't so successful and got rather frustrated. So I'm kind of actually happy a little bit that I know what I'm doing here. Alright, another medical kit in the cockpit. Excellent. I hope I can get past that Imperial. And there is an immobilized Magitek Reaper. Alright. This Magitek Reaper's leg has been damaged, but the weaponry should still function. You may be able to clear a path if you can find the identification key and fuel. Alright, now the identification key could be in here. Wounded Imperial. You've not been turned? Thank goodness. I thought I was the only one left. The bastards got my hand when they took down my Magitek Reaper. If you can repair its leg, though, it should still work. Here, take this key. If it's run out of ceruleum, you might be able to find more in the wreckage. Alright, let's check the Reaper again. Okay, it needs fuel. So we need to go find damaged Magitek armor that has fuel still. Okay. That is going to be a very dangerous path to take. Okay. Actually, let's go this way. Oh, can't get through there. Alright. It has been a little while since I have done this, so... I'm not even going to attempt to go down this direction. That guy's looking the other way, so we should be able to get past him. Yep. And wait for you to turn around. Sneak past. There's a wrecked Reaper, but a bunch of guys a little bit too close to him for comfort. And slip through here. Okay, good. Deceased Imperial. Alright, got another med kit. Good. Small sack. Oh, what's this? The sack contains a bottle of Salutaris. Okay, I'm apparently healing up. Alright, good. Good. Let's check this wrecked Reaper. Nope. The enemies are a little too thick over there. Fuel concealing wreckage. That's what we're looking for. This rhythm gauge indicates some fuel remains. You should be able to remove the tank and carry it to another location. Alright, now I'm carrying the tank, and so I can't fight at all. Ooh. Stay behind them. Stay behind them. Oh. There's that slasher over there. Which way are you facing? Ah, crud. I don't know how far you're gonna chase me. Crud. This has not gone well. Fortunately, I have a bunch of medkits, so I should be okay. And I'm also regenerating health. Alright, let's refuel this armor. And let's get to work. That was close. All right, disembark the Reaper. Get past these tempered Imperials. Yeah, there. Please help us. All right, we'll help the citizens. We're still here, apparently. Alright. Got the bear. Alright, an Almasty. Alright, that's down. Armed Imperial Citizen, they're in a Reaper. Oh. Use our last med kit. That's no good. We got taken out. Unable to escape the blast, I begin to lose consciousness. At the button to maintain consciousness. Come on. Crawl to safety and regain consciousness. Or hold a camp broken glass. We are a long way to crawl. This does serve to instruct just how massively overpowered not just the Warrior of Light is, but just other magic users are compared to Garleans. And why it would be easy to make them very frightened.
It is a miracle we were able to restrain the Tempered without suffering casualties.
A welcome one. Arun, Senna, and the others have their hands full as it is. Thankfully, there are enough scales for everyone.
And what of Eulus? His symptoms were particularly severe.
They were, but others fared still worse, including some brought back from the Magna Glacius. As those in most desperate need take priority, it may be a while before he receives treatment. But rest assured that he will. In the meantime, we must find our missing friend. May the Fury guide you.
Of all the bloody times for a disappearing act.
Right when the first wave struck, we'd be fools to think it a coincidence. But where even to begin the search? No one saw her leave in the chaos, and we've no trail to follow. While I know full well she can handle herself, I worry all the same.
Ah, speak of the devil.
Yep.
Well, time to call off the search.
Not so much.
Case closed.
That's her, over there.
Another demonstration of just how scary we can be.
Aye, 'twould appear so. Thou art struggling to perceive her presence?
I am. Perhaps, in the aftermath of the wave, there is some residual effect interfering with my faculties. But...
Where have you been? We've been worried sick.
Now. All's well that ends well. Are you all right?
Again, not so much.
Are you all right?
Who are you?
He noticed right away. I'll go with enough Xenos, just to announce who it is.
Sadly, that is all we have time for today. The effect has run its course, and back to your own bodies you must go.
Everybody's ready to go.
But where are my manners? We have all traveled so very far, and I've yet to pay my respects. Though in my defense, I was ill-prepared to receive so many uninvited guests. As such, preliminary entertainments were in order. A handful of tempered soldiers to hamper your progress. Refugees to command your attention while I siphon the ceruleum from the shadows. Particularly effective, that.
So it was Fan Daniel who was stealing everybody's ceruleum.
Charitable souls that you are. You bent over backwards to aid them, heedless of the delay, predictable to a fault. And so my plan approaches completion unhindered. Anima will soon have absorbed the requisite amount of ether, and then shall come the spectacle to end all spectacles. The eldest and most powerful of primals will awaken, and all shall bear witness to the final days.
So you're gonna do something with Zodiark.
The gods themselves will be my meal. Your dear companions my dessert. Upon this world I'll feast, and death shall follow in my wake. All your hate, all your rage, you will render unto me.
For upon thy life's reel wind too many threads of fate, power, wheel enmeshed with woe. More terrible still is the attrition wrought upon thy companions, as they are swept up in the storm of thine existence. Take heart and protect them well. They will be your strength and your salvation.
Yeah, we did have a little bit of a close call there.
Thank goodness. She's awake.
So I'm not dead yet?
I am pleased to report you are very much alive.
Everything in working order?
Well, everything we can test out right now, it would seem.
That's a relief. Oh, and before I forget, thanks for coming to our rescue.
Given recent events, I would be surprised if you weren't feeling a bit poorly. A hearty meal and a long rest would be my recommendation under normal circumstances, but these are anything but. If Fandaniel's boasts are to be believed, we must act quickly. Once you've blown away the cobwebs, we can discuss preparations for our assault on the Tower of Babel.
Yep. We got a little payback to give. All right. Let's chat with everybody. You see it? I'll require a detailed report of what occurred whilst you were not yourself. For the contingent, of course. It can wait until later, however. For now, it's enough that you returned. Maxima. The body that you were forced to inhabit turned cold and stiff the moment you returned to your own. Perhaps the soul it belonged to is long gone. Yeah. Let's pray it is so, for I doubt it would be better off in the care of Xenos or Fandaniel. Graha? Thank heavens, you're you again? Gave me quite a fright. Estinian. Whatever that was, let's not do it again, eh? Not by choice. Alpino? Are you certain that you've recovered? You mustn't push yourself, especially after an experience like that. I think we'll be fine. Oriange? Yeah. Full glad am I to see thee awake and restored to thine own flesh once more. Stola? Yes, 'tis still you. My apologies. I realized too late that the ether emanating from the tower was distorting my perception. It was likely a temporary effect, but I remain wary. Thancred. No apologies necessary, least of all to me. If anything, there's a strange comfort in knowing I'm no longer the only one to have been used as a villain's puppet. Though I pray you'll be the last. Yeah, unpleasant. Alright, Alice? You're certain you're well? Nothing out of place? No missing bits? Well, none that I can notice for now. Good, though I won't promise the same for Fandaniel and Xenos after I'm through with them. How much must these people suffer before they are satisfied? How many cruel, pointless tricks must they play? Prelude to the final days or no, this ends now. And level 84. They get me any new abilities? No. Next new actual ability is level 86. Those were traits. Adds a healing effect to Holy Spirit and Holy Circle. Interesting. Data Mastery increases the potency of Fast Blade to 200, Riot Blade to 170, Royal Authority to 130, and Holy Spirit to 270, and Atonement to 420. Okay. Just a general potency boost across the board. Alright, Lucia. There's that last ether current. Are you well enough to make your report? For the most part. give them the rundown of everything we figured out there. This anima was summoned with the corpse of Emperor Varus. Does their depravity know no bounds? It seems not. More to the point, we can surmise that wave of ether issued not from the Tower of Babel, but from the primal lurking within it. A primal whose cry rang rather more loudly in your ears than ours. If we're taken to the tower itself, then this proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is the beating heart of the Talofroy's machinations. In which case, we have some highly relevant information. As many of you know, ever since we dispatched troops to free the Levieurs, we've been developing a plan to infiltrate the tower. According to Thancred and his scouts, the main structure is lousy with tempered and enemy Magitek. Furthermore, the road leading to it has collapsed, making it difficult to approach in numbers. Thus do we propose dividing our forces into two parties, one to distract and one to infiltrate. The diversionary force will be comprised of the Ishgardian, Gridanian, and Leminson delegations. They will begin the construction of bridges to make the Talofroy believe we are marching upon the tower. Meanwhile, the best suited of our Alamegan, Aldan, and Eastern comrades will use a different method of ingress. Look here. The facility marked in red is the Enceladium, a vast Magitek manufactory. In ruins now, of course. Enceladium, yep. Or close enough. But the freight tunnel connecting it to the erstwhile Imperial Palace remains intact. While the Talofroy's attention is elsewhere, our infiltration force can use it to enter the tower undetected. Beware, however, the underground rail network remains very much operational. The Tempered are using it to bring supplies to the tower even now. If it can carry their material, it can carry us too. Providing we sneak aboard unseen. Scions will lead the infiltration party. Once inside, you must locate and dispatch Fandaniel and Xenos. It's time we ended this once and for all. Aye, there will be no more casualties of the Talofroy's maniacal ambition. How quickly can we enact this plan? Fandaniel made it quite clear that haste is a priority. Of paramount concern even, assuming he didn't name the Tower Babel on a whim. In Ammon's time, it meant Gateway of the Gods. Xande used it to refer to a void gate, but in this case, it almost certainly alludes to something altogether greater. The eldest and most powerful of primals. All the more reason to act now. The rest of the contingent is aware of the plan and are ready to move at a moment's notice. You are to proceed north to Forum Patents. Lisa's group will meet you there. As ever, we are grateful for your foresight. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Spare no effort in your preparations. Alright. Let's just talk to Lucia and Maxima real quick. Lisa's party ought to have secured the tunnel by now. Rendezvous with them and make your way inside. May the Fury guide you and us all. Maxima? Those not taking part in the assault will defend this camp and the airships, as well as safeguard your escape route from the tower. Do not worry about what comes after, so fight with all you have. Alright, I think this is where we're going to go ahead and end the episode. A lot went down. But now we're going to launch our assault on the tower proper. Alright, so for now, stop here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.